Hello everybody. I'd like to tell you about a local community theater group that was started in a community that I lived in. This lady had written a play, and it was based on some Shakespearean lines. I don't know exactly how to describe the play, but it was a drama, and it was interspersed, I guess that's the word you can use, with lines from certain plays of Shakespeare. But a lot of work had gone into producing this local community play. And at the beginning of the play, the lady that was directing the play had borrowed a cannon that they used at the local high school. When the football team scored, they would fire this cannon, and you've probably seen them. It was a pretty good-sized cannon. It had a brass barrel on some small wheels, but when that thing went off, it made a pretty terrific noise. Well, there was this one guy that lived in the neighborhood that he had told everybody that he had been a Shakespearean actor and had acted in some plays in New York and Chicago. A lot of people really doubted that, but no one really questioned, They figured that if he wanted to say that he had been a Shakespearean actor, then that was fine. But anyway, the premise of the play, what they got this guy to do, they wanted someone that could really quote Shakespeare to say a few lines from Shakespeare and then start the play off. But what the lady that was directing the play, she borrowed this cannon and she put it on the stage. And they knew it was so loud that they were not going to use it during rehearsal, and they were going to only fire it at the beginning of the play. And they had some local musicians, to play background music. But it was a pretty good production. But anyway, the guy that said that he had been a Shakespearean actor, they got him to open up the play because they needed someone who could quote Shakespeare and do a pretty good job of it, which he was pretty good. And everybody got to calling him the Shakespearean Actor. So when they would rehearse, the lady that was directing the play would stand over by the cannon, and she would go, bang! And then he would say, "Hark, hark, is that cannon fire I hear?" And then he would quote Shakespeare, and then the play would start. And they had been rehearsing the thing for a couple of months. And so when they would come in, to rehearse, rather than to fire that cannon, because it was so loud, that the director, the lady that was directing the play, would go bang, and then he would say, "Hark, hark, is that cannon fire I hear?" And then he would quote, I don't know what line it was from Shakespeare. And then that would set up the premise for the play that had been written by this local person. So on the night that the play was to open, the place was packed. They had it in a local, not a gymnasium, but an auditorium of the school. So the orchestra, they had created an orchestra among some of the people who had been part of the school band and who had graduated and were pretty good musicians, and they were really pretty good. So anyway, they struck up the band, and the curtain came up, and they had a guy to light this cannon that did it at the ball games, and the cannon went boom! And the Shakespearean actor said, "What in the crap was that?"